Thank you for joining us in LifeGroup tonight, guys. We welcome all our first time visitors tonight, and we welcome all our existing members. We thank you guys for just showing up, just joining our life groups and getting to know the people around you. Because this is what it's about, just building relationships and having fun in the Lord. Also, if you have a YouTube app or you are constantly on YouTube, you might want to click that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen so that you can become a member of our online family. Also, click that notification bell at the bottom of the screen so that you'll never miss another Fountains of Living Waters video that we post weekly. Well, if you've been with us for the previous 2 weeks, we started a series called Reach. And in this series, the purpose behind it is to figure out an effective way to reach the people around us. And in doing so, it's going to take each person doing their part. Not one person, but each person. And in the first week, we talked about how to reach people through our relationship. And we know that having a good relationship with God, it helps with us having a good relationship with people. Because having a good relationship with God now gives us the angle of looking at people through His eyes. But you know that when we look at people through our own eyes, we break relationships based on how they treat us, and we break relationships on what they say about us. But looking at it through the eyes of God, we see that everyone makes mistakes and everyone has mishaps, and so that we still need to build those relationships. And in the second week, we talked about how to reach people through our invites. A lot of times we have parties or we have get-togethers or even church, and we fail to invite those people who we love the most, and we fail to invite people who may want an opportunity to change. And so in this message, we was coming up with a method on that. We need to get a guest list together, and so that this guest list that we begin to invite people, bring them out of their comfort zone and just invite them to a place where we are, where they can experience God's love as well. And in this last session today, what I'm so excited about is how to reach people with your story. And so what we talked about a little bit was in Luke chapter 5, and I'm going to read out a Message Bible today, but we're going to start with verse number 27, and we're going to go all the way to verse 32. And it says this: After this, he went out and saw a man named Levi at his work collecting taxes. And Jesus said, "Come along with me." And he did. He walked away from everything and went with him. Levi gave a large dinner at his home for Jesus. Everybody was there, tax men and other disreputable characters as guests at the dinner. The Pharisees and their religion scholars came to his disciples greatly offended. What is it he's doing eating and drinking with crooks and sinners? But I love what verse 31 says. Jesus heard about it and spoke up. Who needs a doctor, the healthy or the sick? I'm here inviting outsiders, not insiders. This is an invitation to a changed life, changed from the inside and out. See, what I like the way Jesus came and defended the disciples, because they were being criticized for what what's happening here. And I like the question that Jesus posed right here. He says, "Who needs a doctor, the healthy or sick?" But then he says, "I'm here inviting outsiders." He says, "I'm not focused on the religious scholars. I'm not focused on the people." And I love, he's saying, I love everyone. But at this very moment, my focus is on those who need me, who need a relationship with God. He says, I'm here inviting outsiders, not insiders. And this is an invitation to a changed life. And so in this whole series, our mission is to reach people that are considered outsiders. it's cool to live our lives knowing that, we're going to go to heaven one day and everything is all fine and dandy and we're going to walk on streets of gold or however you want to put it. But there's people right now who can't even see the light of day, who can't even get past a single day in their life. And I think what his focus is on, I'm not here to polish the people who are righteous at this point in time in the scriptures. I'm not here to polish up the righteous people. But what I'm here for is for the sick, the oppressed, the brokenhearted, those that need to be healed. And he's saying, this is why I'm here. I'm a doctor. I can meet their needs. And so our whole purpose in this reach method is to tell your story this week. And what we want you guys to do is to log on to your Facebook account, if you have one. And what we want you to do is you would go to your Facebook page. You would tap on the What's on Your Mind box. And then type in your story on how God has impacted your life. Because everyone wants to hear a good story. There's enough bad news going around now that we can sit and dwell on it and talk about it and panic about it and be in fear about it. But what we want you guys to do is to share how God has impacted or changed your life. And we want you to simply do that through your Facebook page. And so after you type in your story on the What's on Your Mind in the What's on Your Mind box, what we want you to do too is also to add a picture. And you can do that by clicking on the Add to Your Post and then tapping on the Photo and Videos tab below to add a photo. And then share will be the last option, to share that story or that post with everybody you know. Because the whole mission behind this is stated in verse 32. He says, I'm here inviting outsiders, not insiders. And by sharing your story, you're giving someone an invitation to a changed life. One of the greatest evangelistic tools is your story. It's what God did and how he did it to impact your life. Like me, if you guys want to see increase in our church, if you want to see increase in our community, if you want to see increase all over the world, I think it's time that we begin to share our story about how God has impacted our lives. So if you could with me, guys, just go ahead and just at this time, you can go ahead on your Facebook page and just post what God has done to impact your life. Hey, welcome back, guys. I hope we gave you enough time to post your stories to Facebook or any platform of social media that you wish to post on. But we just want you guys to share those to all your friends so they can know the change that God has done in your life. And in doing that, you're giving someone an opportunity to change their life. But listen, I hope you enjoyed this series. We would love to hear your feedback and your comments below, because we care what you guys say and we care about your comments. But also share our Facebook page, share our Instagram page, just share it with everybody, because we want to get your story out there. Well, as always, don't do life alone, and grace changes everything.